So, hello everyone. We are Group 10 and our topic is Innovation Audit Framework. And we'll be discussing more about it and we'll be dealing with the case of Netflix, that how it has been a disruptive in the field of media and entertainment. So, talking about the overview, as you can see on the slide, we'll be first of all dwelling with the audit framework itself of the innovation. And then we'll be discussing more about the media and entertainment industry. Then we'll be talking more about the Netflix and how it has caused a disruption. Then the two things we'll be dealing with the service innovation and organizational innovation. Now, as you can see in this diagram, it has been plotted into a 3D space where there are three axes. As you can see in this figure, the x-axis is represented by locus of innovation, the other are type of innovation and nature of innovation. So first of all, I would like to discuss more about the nature of innovation. And there are kind of three types: efficiency, disruptive, and sustainable. So our topic is basically disruptive. What basically disruptive is that how it has entered into that particular industry and has brought a complete change. This is something similar we can see when the dot-com bubble came up, because there was nothing before something like that, and that changed the entire dynamics of the complete market and the thing how it was functioning. Then other would be efficiency and sustainable. Talking about sustainable right now, that's the main priority of almost all the bigger business model and firms, that they're trying to make it more sustainable, which can last for a longer time. Then the other axis is like locus of innovation. So that has been split into three parts, like the small groups and team projects and business ecosystem, which is self understand it's like self-explanatory. Then the most important part would be the types of innovation. As you can see, as I've mentioned, the types of innovation can be of any type, like business model innovation, it can be of management model, or it can be technology processes. Talking about like technology process, as I've discussed, there was a dot-com bubble, but even around like in early 2010, the smartphone, the introduction of smartphone, just a new technology that completely killed the market that was there before with the Nokia. And again, you can see an example of disruptive. Then talking about design and marketing, how bigger brands they go with the new packaging for their food, and all that can come under this small parts of innovation. And right now, with sustainability, brands are more focusing towards making something which is biodegradable in nature and sustainable. So now moving on to the next slide.
Now we'll be discussing about the nature of innovation. So first of all, innovation could be internal as well as external for a company to be developed. Also, there are technical as well as non-technical innovations that can also be done. Also, the company requires resources to be allocated, so they need to focus on getting the right resources at the right time. Also, innovation also has to tackle the dynamic business environment and market it properly. The biggest thing that the company gets as a hurdle is the mindset differences that need to be sorted out. First of all, we'll be discussing about disruptive innovation. These are the innovations and technologies that make expensive or sophisticated products and services accessible and more affordable to a broader market. So it alters and improves the product or service in ways that the market did not even expect to. Next, sustaining innovation. This is the innovation that happens on an incremental basis, often in response to customer and market demands or improvements in technology. So it does not create new markets of value, but rather helps us to develop existing ones. The next thing is efficiency innovation. The focus is on process innovation, and it helps businesses to streamline their existing processes and procedure and then produce their existing products at a lower cost. So the overall objective of enhancing efficiency is therefore to get the greatest output for the money invested. Next slide. Now we'll be discussing about the types of innovation. So the first four types of innovation center around the configuration of the company and all the work that happens behind the scenes. So first of all, network. So connections with others to create value. So that is something that helps you connect with others. Also, the company has to focus on a profit model. So that is the only source that how you make money. So innovation in profit model is currently something that Netflix has been focusing on. Customer engagement. That means the distinctive interactions that you foster with your customers. Also, the main focus is on brand, which is the representation of the offerings and the business. Next thing is channel. How you offer, how your offerings are delivered to the customers and the users. The next thing is structure, alignment of your talent and assets. Process is also a signature of superior methods for doing your work. Next thing is product performance. This is something that distinguishes features and functionality. The next thing would be product system, which is the complementary product and services that you get along with the main commodity. Last thing is service, which is the main thing here, which is the support and enhancement that surround your offerings. Let's discuss about the locus of innovation. First of all, the small groups, first of all, focusing on the small groups. So huge organizations are giving greater resources and responsibilities to ever smaller teams. And so the focus has shifted from innovation initiatives being handled by by many groups to only a few groups. Next thing is the business ecosystem. Like all the factors of network of organization, including the suppliers, distributors, competitors, etc., are involved in the delivery of specific products and services through both the competition as well as cooperation of each other. The next best thing is organization. So this focuses on implementation of new methods of delegating responsibilities and decision-making power on the employees for the division of work within different departments. The last thing is project innovation. Increased focus on innovative and creative thinking is regarding the optimum utilization of resources for better efficiency of the whole company.
So in this slide, I'll be talking about the media and entertainment industry. The media and entertainment industry is comprised of multiple segments like cinema, television, music, publishing, radio, etc. And these segments further include movies and TV shows, radio shows, news, music, and books. Now, over the past decade, the industry has been at the cusp of rapid transformation. For example, digital media emerged out to be one of the alternative distribution medium, which has also proved to be a core revenue generation platform, thus compelling several media companies to adopt to these digital strategies in order to survive the fiercely competitive market. Now I'll be talking about some of the trends which are expected to transform this industry today and in the years to come. First is artificial intelligence for personalization and a service. Many media companies are working alongside AIs for serving personalized content based on the recommendations and effective advertisements. Second is virtual and augmented realities. VR/AR content is one of the hottest trends in the media and entertainment industry. And even though the use of AR and VR in this industry is relatively new, enterprises are rapidly adopting these alternate realities in order to meet the growing customer demands. And the last is online streaming and smart media. So apart from the leading players like Netflix and Amazon, several others like Apple, Disney, HBO Max, etc. are also joining the streaming domain, thus making it even more complex. Hence, there is an increasing competition coupled with the need to meet customer expectations. Next slide. So in this slide, I'll be discussing about the world's leading streaming entertainment service, that is Netflix. So Netflix is an American over-the-top content platform and production company. The company's primary business is a subscription-based streaming entertainment service offering online streaming from a library of films and television series, including those produced in-house. Before Netflix, consumers went to the movies, rented VHS tapes or DVDs, and watched whatever was on live TV. Now consumers have the option of streaming content instantly to any device and anywhere. Netflix is thus essentially a storehouse of content, including movies, documentaries, and television series, both pre existing as well as of its own. For a flat monthly fee, subscribers can consume any program at any time on whatever device they prefer. Netflix is thus the dominant company on the on demand media industry. By creating compelling original programming, analyzing its user data to serve subscribers better, and above all, by letting people consume content in the ways they prefer, the company disrupted the television industry and forced cable companies to change the way they do business.
So now we will be looking at nature of innovation. So the nature of innovation of Netflix is disruptive. Disruptive innovation is a process in which a product or service that takes place at the bottom rung of the market and is initially used by the small population. But with time, it slowly gains momentum and replaces the incumbent market leaders and become mainstream. This is exactly what happened with the Netflix. Netflix is a disruptive innovation as it revolutionized how people get their daily dose of entertainment. The primary reason why Netflix is disruptive is that when it was launched in its mail in subscription service, it didn't go after the core customer of its competitors. Thus, those customers rented new releases on demand movies, something that Netflix originally didn't provide. Initially, Netflix only targeted a few customer groups who were movie buffs that didn't care about the new releases and were early adopters of DVD players and online shoppers. This segment was overlooked by its competitors. In 2007, Netflix launched streaming services and became mainstream. As you can look from the graph that from 2007, Netflix showed an exponential growth curve and overtook its customers. Previously, people had to go to stores to rent a movie as well as to return it. But now, with streaming services, they could access a variety of films and TV shows with fixed monthly subscription fee without having to leave their houses. Netflix eventually started to turn its non customers into its customers with a more flexible and accessible online services. Kate and Kristen consider Netflix as a hallmark of disruption as the company targeted a segment of population that was overlooked by its competitors. Then it moved up market and added non-customers to its customers. Next.
Now, I'll be talking about the service innovation of Netflix. Innovation is basically a term referring to innovation taking place in the various contexts of services, including the introduction of new services or incremental improvement of existing services. So, the original concept of Netflix is perhaps the biggest innovation the company has ever made. The idea came to its founder after paying huge late fees for the movie, and they brought the internet to the table for that. They started selling movie rental over the internet and delivered through the mail. They first introduced Netflix in 1998 with a pure rental model that came with the associated late fees. Following the origin of the company, the switch to the subscriber model is the second biggest service innovation made to date. Up until then, movie rentals were a complicated process, even when using Netflix. Viewers had to log in, choose a title, and pay for it. The switch to a subscriber model was a gamble but paid off. Within the first year of its launched, it eclipsed the original business model of Netflix. The fact that user could watch a movie whenever they wanted, as many as times they wanted, with no deadlines and no late fees was revolutionary and altered the very nature of movie rental business. The business model may be a subscription movie sales, but Netflix is also a technology company, and the product is personalization. So their next innovation in service was driven by technology. The platform is built around a personalized move recommendation system that uses a variety of algorithms to match contents to member preference. So the system used ratings and reviews from past viewers and match movies to views based on their history and reviews. Netflix innovated the concept of exclusive content when it started to buy and then develop its own original programming. At first criticized for their unorthodox method, the company has proven its ability to produce new shows cheaper than mainstream media and deliver it in a fashion that meets viewers' demand. By crossing the lines between rental services to entertainment provider, the company cemented a loyal fan base by increasing its appeal. When it comes to unlimited access, Netflix take it to a next level. They made the full library available to most members with some limited limitations due to legal restrictions. Netflix partnered with multiple device makers to make the service available to most number of people in most many number of ways. This allowed members the most flexibility and to stream movies and shows directly to their devices, including TVs. Binge watching. The word came into the common use in the wake of Netflix when they began listing whole seasons of television series at once, and it allowed the viewers the opportunity to watch as many as episodes at a time at any time on demand. It its use grew with the advent of streaming and on-demand video and became widespread with the release of shows like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. Next slide.
Now we will look at the organizational innovation or the amazing corporate culture which Netflix has come up with. Netflix's CEO Reed Hastings had the idea of setting up the culture in the organization to be primed for this reinvention. Netflix's culture cleaves fast to the core principle that if you want to promote innovation, hire and retain the very best people and place as few limitations on them as possible. Netflix's vacation policy, for example, is that there is no vacation policy. Employees can take as much or as little time off as they see fit. Its expense policy is 5 words long. act in Netflix's best interest. This did not come from an instant idea. This came from a bitter experience that when Netflix started to grow, a natural tendency towards bureaucracy can stifle originality. And after the dot-com bubble burst, he saw that for really the top performance, a great work environment is worth stunning colleagues. Like many other innovative companies, Netflix woos top talents with best-in-class compensation packages and maintains exacting hiring protocols. Netflix's less former alternative for preserving its talent density is called the keeper test. When evaluating an employee, managers are asked to imagine how they would react if that person were to resign. Would they fight to change the employee's mind or feel secretly relieved? They also have the other value of importance of candid feedback, which is called the negative feedback. Negative feedback is considered a form of encouragement, not chastisement. Feedback should be aimed to assist Netflix or the individual being addressed rather than a means of venting frustration. And of course, the feedback should be logical, actionable, and that is specifically meant to curb the problem. Wide open vacation and expense policies are good symbols of the trust Netflix invests in its people, but the aversion to top down control extends to essential business decisions as well. They explain this is a kind of inversion of the conventional pyramid structure of decision making, in which the most consequential choices are kicked up the hierarchy and low-level employees handle smaller matters. Think of a tree. Reed's at the root. Reed Hastings, who's the CEO, is at the root, and he's talking about the goals and future direction of the organization, where future incoming will be coming from. The usual pyramid structure can lead to bottlenecks, and this structure can help you make a lot of decision at all at once, and there is much faster growth. With all this, I would like to end with this thought that they lead with context, not controls. Thank you.